Hey guys, we're going live. We're talking today to Angel Rebo about his challenge to me yesterday was to look at my list for the day and then do the opposite. And I said, what? What? So anyway, I did it. So I'm bringing on Angel now. We're going to have a live discussion about this because he's the guy that instigated this. So I'm doing the invite process here. So of course, this is always the exciting part. And wait, there he is. It's Angel Rebo. Angel's a friend of mine. He's also a coach to over 1,500 CEOs. So the dude's been around. And he's also the founder of wisdomforkids.today. Wisdomforkids.today. And it's a charity, which is a great thing. He's helping to get kids out of poverty throughout Latin America by teaching them entrepreneurship. So need to invite him in, or it's going to say he's joining. It's going to do it. I know it's going to do it. Come on. All right. So we're waiting on that on the screen as we do it. So maybe this is exciting television. Okay. So before it's worked, I've sent the invite. I don't know if he knows this. So maybe I'll start a live broadcast here again in a second so we can avoid this. This is not fun. Wait, as soon as he gets the invite. Okay. Andrew wants to be in your video. All right. It's great that we have like 2 minutes of me going, he's going to come on, he's going to come on, he's going to come on. Approve. I'm approving. You're approved. You're approved. See? I have approved. He's coming on. Angel Rebo is coming on. I'm on a new chair.
Hello.
Hello, Angel. How's it going?
Good morning.
It took a little while longer
Is
for
that
us
you?
to bring you on. I don't know why it took a while for you to get the invite.
Yeah, whatever. Technology happens.
Technology happens.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
So we get right into it, okay? I
Let's
introduced to people with the challenge that you came up with yesterday. Hey, and don't cover your camera. Okay.
Exactly. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
That's why I have you. That's why I have you.
Okay. I like to give you a hard time in public in front of the whole world.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
I have a thick skin.
Okay. All right. And I didn't turn off my notifications, so it's if I do this, it's because of that. All right. Here it is. And the challenge that you gave me yesterday was unusual. And I mentioned this to the audience. What, we're doing this again? Okay, we did a pinky swear that we're going to do it, and so I did it. Okay, and so it was this. Angel said to me, Angel said to me, all right, whatever's on your list, do the opposite. Do the opposite. Essentially, is what you said, right?
I said that, yes.
So I went off, and I got crazy, and I did it. I did what you said. And so we're here to discuss that. If you have a list for the day,
I did the same thing.
What's going to happen? You did. Well, let's talk about it. Yeah, and I'm also going to talk to your friend Angel at 1. So just keeping that in mind.
In a few minutes.
But yeah. Well, we got some good time here. So how about this? I have my list in front of me that I was with yesterday. Maybe we can go back and forth. You can tell me what your experience was. But so the first one was this, I'm building the course for Tap Into Your Genius, right? Where people I'd like them to, if they're interested, to join the beta site here at the end of the month, become a founding member. And so anyway, I'm working on that. And so one of the things I wanted to work on was how to build an audience, how to build your list. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna read a bunch of materials about it. How can I build my audience? How can I build my list? And so I said, what is the opposite of that? So I had to think about it. I said, okay, instead I'm going to tell other people how to build their audience and their list. Mm-hmm. And so then I belong to a course that's talking about this, how you can do these types of things and building a membership site. And so I went on to the Facebook group that they have in place, and I told everybody what I was doing and my suggestions on how to grow an audience, but also, if they have feedback and any things I can improve, then do that. So that was the first thing I did.
Jeff?
What do you think? Yeah.
No, it's funny because actually your image It's frozen here. I have no idea why, but sorry about that. So I can
no
see you how
problem.
you move, but
Okay.
no, it's
I'm
perfect.
doing
So
jumping jacks. Yeah.
all right, then well, I mean, good luck when you reach
Okay.
jumping jack 99.
You said
just
to
let me
jump
know.
yesterday. You said
Uh,
to jump for my lymphatic system. So I'm jumping.
okay, good, but you need a trampoline. Otherwise, you're forcing your joints.
Oh,
Okay,
too much,
so
too much. I get it. Too much impact on the joints. Okay.
exactly.
Thank you.
So okay, so you did that. So what did they say? Did anybody join you?
Yes. So a bunch of people. I had some people actually say I'm following you now, and then people gave me suggestions and things like that. So I got a lot of nice feedback, and ended up, I didn't even think about it. Just like there's a lot of people, a couple thousand people doing the same kind of endeavor as me, and now they know more about what I'm doing. So it's pretty good.
Fantastic. Okay, so maybe I can tell you what I did. I canceled
Yeah, please tell me.
my all the activities I had for the rest of the day. So it was a little traumatic for me because I had to say no to
Wow.
people that had already
Big
booked
one.
some time with me. So
Oh,
I had
wow.
to tell them,
Wow.
would you mind rebooking? But I have to say, um, I was lucky because everybody said yes to reschedule. So that was good. So then what I said is I'm going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
So the first, I was going to have a meeting outside. Besides a phone call, I was going to have a meeting outside my home. So I canceled that too. So I just went with
You were
the
bold
flow,
about it.
and I was left alone at home with a new puppy. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to tell you what it was. So
He's a good looking dog, though. I saw him. He's good
yeah,
looking.
it's a beautiful dog. It's a lab retriever, golden. So
Mm.
I stayed with him. So I have to say, it only cried for a few seconds, for a few minutes. Then it went into sleep mode, and it slept for 4 hours inside the cage, which is amazing. It was amazing. So then what I did is my kid wanted to go with me. Today is one of my kid's birthday, his 10th anniversary,
Ah,
his 10th birthday.
very good.
So
His
we
fifth,
went,
yes.
yeah, we went with him. I went with him, together.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, where
Yeah.
do you want to go? And he told me, yeah, I want to go together with you. And I want to go to that particular place, and we followed the GPS. We thought we were going to a new place, but actually we went to a chocolate sublime location in Allen, Texas. And we had wonderful chocolate. And the highlight was there were two things happening there. First, I had my first ever spicy chocolate, which was a very nice experience. But
Like Mexican chocolate.
Mexican chocolate, exactly. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
a family came to the restaurant, out to the place at the same time that we were there. And then they left the place and they forgot a big, massive wallet, like this big. And my son saw it and we took it and we went to the, lady in the counter, say, hey, we found this. But the gentleman was still like picking up a couple of napkins, to take with his coffee and the rest of the family. And we said, hey, is that yours? And he said, yes. And he said, this happens to me very often, that we left this behind because the kids are always playing with it. But the interesting thing, he said, can I buy you something? He said, can I buy you something? And we said, no, of course not. I mean, you don't have to buy us anything for giving you your wallet back, or your wife's wallet back. And I said, then I was thinking, the universe is offering me the possibility to suggest him something. So actually, I did something that I never did before. And actually, maybe I took that opportunity to say, no, please, just pay it forward. Just do something unexpected today for someone that you didn't expect to do anything for. So I like the thing that, suddenly you can generate this ripple effect, and people that you don't know, you've never seen before, just because you let go, you have shown them, some love, some understanding, and then they're going to do something in return.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, we just came back home and we spent the rest of the evening with the dog. And so it was a very kind of relaxing evening, all of it. And then there was this amazing kid on Mindalia television in Spanish at 4 a.m. I was surrendering completely. At 4 a.m., this guy from Spain was giving an interview the Latin American audience of Mindalia Television in Spanish, and he
Yes.
was talking about panic attacks. That's why it's interesting, because I'm sure that some people in the audience, sometimes they have panic attacks.
It happens to a number of people, yeah.
And he was a very young guy. He was a 21-year-old guy, and he was explaining his story about, having panic attacks and how common the panic attacks are for youth today, for young men. So I really recommend you guys, you go to Mindalia Television and you actually Google Ricard, R-I-C-A-R-D. At 4 a.m. in the morning, he was giving out a 1-hour interview to Mindalia Television talking about panic attacks and how he started working with someone called Enneagram. We will have to Google that. Enneagram, E-N-E-A-G-R-A-M, which is a tool that helps you find yourself. But that's, that's anyway, but that was my story. So I ended up being in bed like at noon, at midnight almost. And that was it. That's my story about what happened to me last night after surrendering and making an agreement with you that I was going to change completely and do the opposite that I typically do.
Okay, that's very good. I want to talk about like the anxiety thing just briefly, because I used to have some problems with anxiety, and I used to also have obsessive compulsive disorder really badly. And then in the year 2000, I made a decision. I said, God, it's either it is or it's me. I'm not doing this anymore. And I think when I came to that deciding point, and I don't know if you're clicking something there, Angel. I don't know. I'm hearing some clicking. No,
not me.
Must be something on the. It's Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. Stop listening in. These are very interesting conversations, but stop listening in and clicking your pen. Stop doing that. So anyway,
we're gonna show you my hands, okay? So it's not me, okay? It's
wait.
my hands, okay?
Let's see.
Not,
is it clicking?
not before my face.
Is it clicking stopped?
No, before my face.
All right, here we go. So anyway, and so when I made that decision, a friend of mine showed up that I hadn't seen. I'll tell a little bit about it. And I hadn't seen him for quite a while. He asked me, "How you doing?" I said, "Not so good." And so then he had told me that we started talking. I told him what was going on. And I kept it a secret from people for years. I mean, I was ashamed of it. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't as well known then as it is now. And he said that, and this might be for everybody, but he said that he'd been healed of a certain issue that he had, an immune problem. He went to spiritual hospital, and it was this place where they talk scriptures over you and how to use scriptures for healing. So I didn't care. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And so that's when the miracles began to happen in my life. And just in case anyone doesn't know, OCD is considered an anxiety-related disorder. And so when I went there to that, for the first time in my life, I went an entire week without doing any OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And then shortly, about 4 months later, I'd say 75% gone, and now 99.9%. Or even higher gone now. So, but in regards to anxiety, what I found is that anxiety comes from us trying to repress feelings, hold them in and not deal with them. And so what happens is that when you hold in feelings, they come out other ways in your body through a nervous tick, itching, whatever it might be, and anxiety attacks. And so, with that also, that was it. Another thing I had on that was years ago, I saw a Star Trek episode where they were trying to escape this thing that was pulling them in. So they were doing everything they could to pull away. And finally, at the end of the episode, when they finally just released and let go, they found their freedom. And I felt like that really connected with me, but it didn't fully make sense. But then just a couple of months ago, I was, through whatever process it is, I can't even remember how I came up with it, that when you're trying to resist, what I learned is you're actually creating something. You're creating something right then. We're always creating something. No matter if we believe it or not, we're always creating something. The world that we live in is our own creation by the thoughts that we think and how we respond to things. And so what I realized is that when people try to resist feeling that way, resist it, or they resist the thoughts or resist the emotions, they're actually creating something right then. I believe that's something negative. And that by letting go and then being proactive, what am I creating? then that helps to create that release valve and not create those physical symptoms that happen. There you go.
It's funny. His story was like the opposite, but he eventually went to the same spot that you were just describing.
Really?
So
really?
Again,
yeah, where did he go to?
So, he has, I don't know, he explained that, his father and mother divorced when he was really young. He always felt guilt. Guess what? Guilt. But his life was perfect because he was being brilliant in school. So he went to college. He was having all those amazing grades in college. He was in the honors program with different subjects in college. But you know what he realized? He realized that he wasn't living his own life. He was living his parents' life. And he felt guilt. And as he had to have like the perfect life to make his parents happy, because they got divorced, blah, blah, blah. So he wanted to make sure that he was making everybody happy, but he realized he wasn't living his own life. And what the most incredible comment he made is because he was having questions from the audience, and many parents from many places in Latin America, they were asking questions to him. And they were asking questions, hey, my son, my daughter has panic attacks, anxiety, crisis. What can I do? And you know what he said? He said, you parents, you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything because you don't know, but actually with your education, unwillingly, you have actually made them have and be at the spot where they are today. So he said, and he was very clear. He didn't say, no, you rather like step back. No. He said, you cannot do anything, parents, for your kids that have panic attacks or anxiety crisis. You cannot do anything. The only thing that you can do is to be an example for them, to be an example. So start behaving as if there's no more pressure on them of any sort, any kind, forever. Lead by example. Don't tell them what to do, what not to do. Speaking to your resistance, Jeff.
Yeah,
so
you create something bad then.
Exactly. So he said, and it's funny, he said, I think I'm going to fail the next exam. The first time I fail any exam, I'm out of here. I'm going to be dropping out of college. And he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But he did it. He actually failed. He failed a test, and he said, okay, that's the end of it. And my life starts now. And I'm taking my life back today. And he did it. He started reading and reading and reading. And now, with his example, he wrote a book. He's a very young guy. He's 21 years old.
Yeah. So what's the name of the book?
I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the book.
Right.
But he was a very, very humble guy. Again, his name is Ricard. Ricard, R-I-C-A-R-D, in Mindalia Television, all the letters, television. Mindalia Television is in Spanish.
Yes.
It was last night, so it was August the 6th in Mindalia Television, Ricard. Anyway, so it's amazing how we put so much resistance, and sometimes as parents, and I have 3 kids, we put a lot of pressure. We put a lot of pressure on our kids.
I mean, to answer that, I didn't expect to talk about this, but I think it's appropriate, just like for me, I learned perfectionism from my mom. And even from my religion of Christianity, you gotta be a perfect Christian, you gotta be this perfect person, this perfect example, you have to do this, and it's impossible. And then with my dad, had a really bad temper, and he's no longer here, but he's truly was a great guy, but just earlier years just had a bad temper. So then I was afraid to make mistakes. So I think all of that, with my personality and something slightly funny, I don't know. But I think that people who develop anxiety disorders or OCD are always like nice people. They're never the a-holes. It's always nice people because they care about how they're, affecting the world. So I think the solution is just to become a complete jerk. See, the opposite. You go the opposite, Angel, right? Okay, no. But what I'm just saying, it is about, I think, letting go, and then I think also trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your gut instinct, trusting God, and go with the flow, and because it sounds like that Ricard, just like he was trying to live up to a standard that was not his own. he felt like he had to, and that causes the pressure, right? And when you put that that wrong kind of pressure on yourself, it can create something bad. But I think that the opposite also would be to do this: is create something good. What can I be involved with that inspires me, that I feel led to do, that I feel led by God, that this is my purpose in my life? And then you feel an energy because of it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm trying to resist those feelings, I can get caught up in that. But when I am in, say, what I'm good at is creativity, I feel actually, I could work for an hour, 2 hours, and I feel actually more energy after I'm done because of that. But on your experiment that you had us do, there was a friend of mine, and she made some cookies. Okay,
Okay.
and she said, come on by to pick them up, and at the office. And so I thought, what's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of that? And she's a really nice girl, and she's kind of going through a little difficult time at work. And so I thought, what's the opposite? Well, how about I give her something? I give her something instead. Instead of me coming over to the office to take the cookies, how about I give her a little present? And so we had been talking online about these mason jars that are your solar powered. They have these lights inside of them. You can put them on your patio, because I want to decorate my patio, because it's just, I love light. I love to like shape things and do art in light. And
I
so
know you like light. Oh my goodness, so
you
well I
do.
know you.
Did we talk? I don't even remember talking to you about that. But so, but anyway,
I only need
so
a session with you shooting me, so that's enough.
oh, of course. All right. So light photography aspect, but yeah. So I like to decorate. So the light was light. So they have these new cool LED lights you could put in a mason jar. So I already had some lights that I had bought and wasn't using them. And so I went out to Walmart. I bought a mason jar. I stuck the lights in there, and then I put a note on top of it, and I said, a blessing is coming your way soon. And so then she also talked about sometimes wanting to start her own business. And so there was a nice girl that I had met at that same office who has a she has a party in a box kind of a subscription business. And it's a really cool idea, and she's a very nice girl. So I wanted to connect those two. And so I went there, and sure enough, something really bad happened in the office that day.
Oh,
Yeah, something really bad. And the only reason why I was there was to give her this gift. And the only reason why, and so she was actually so upset, she walked right past me crying and left because of what happened in her office. And so anyway, we chatted that night, and I felt like it was we had a very good just text messaging. I thought it was really good. But also in the morning, she's going to go in, and this morning got her gift, and so I don't know, that's what happened. I ended up giving a gift that maybe she really needed too, and so that was cool. And so it was weird. Your challenge was it ended up being pretty good, man. I like, it was like a lot of good stuff. But I'm saying this crazy idea that Angel came up with is actually good. I was it was like I was just surprised, and nicely surprised. And so and then I actually had an appointment that night too to help work on my website, and then I canceled with that. And it was so funny was I decided, no, I'm going to do what I said. I don't care. I'm going to cancel this appointment. And then right after I decided I'm canceling it, then I saw a text from the guy, and he had canceled it like an hour before. So anyway, reach out to people and help them. And one thing, I was going to send an email to a friend, for a friend, an email introduction. I was going to say, hey, he'd like to meet you. And instead, I introduced that person that he wanted to meet to him. And it changed the focus of the email. And I thought that was interesting too, because it put him in a better position, only because you said to do the opposite. And I instead the opposite of receiving, I was giving. All right, we'll get you back. Approve. Okay, we'll finish this up. Connecting. All right, we're back. Can you hear me, Angel? I'm not hearing you. I'm seeing your lips moving. Shoot. I'm going to have to also wrap it up with you because I'm meeting your friend Angel Jones, who's been traveling all over the country interviewing people. Was it 1,000 people in, show me handling, 1,000 people in what, 2 months? 2 months? Was it? Okay, maybe the audience can hear you. But I was just talking about some other things that happened. And by doing the opposite, I had discovery where I was not just receiving, but I was giving instead. As I was thinking as the opposite, and so that was good. And then I thought about a funnel system where we want to funnel people into what we want and need. And I thought, how can I instead do the opposite of a funnel system, and that is in terms of marketing, and that was actually go directly to the people who are my customers and talk to them directly, the opposite approach. And so that's made me think about that. But I do need to wrap up, Angel. I don't know if you can, I think you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. So I want to thank you so much for your challenge. I thought, I don't care. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to do it. And it ended up being really helpful. So thank you. Try to read your lips. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Angel. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate it.